Okay, so this is part 2, discussion and reflection. Um, I think overall I did okay. I found this therapy probably the hardest to get my head around, just how to show unconditional um, positive regard was, I suppose, getting my head around how to actually show that was difficult. But I think that I did. I think that I did have unconditional positive regard for my client. Um, I think that I have the empathetic understanding down pat. Um, and I really made a conscious effort this time to use an open question at the beginning, to sort of spark the conversation. I tried to do a lot of reflection, so reflecting the feelings back to the client to make sure that I did understand what he was feeling, and that I was actually taking in what he was saying the right way, and that I wasn't misinterpreting anything. Um, I maintained eye contact with the client to show that I was listening. A lot of non-verbal encourages like nodding, I used. Um, I think that I did well in finding out why the client had come to see me. I think that I did well in fleshing out what the client's goals were. Um, I'm not really sure how I went with remaining congruent. I did try to be open and honest with the client, um, and tried to sort of be open about how sort of how sort of while they were sort of sharing their story, I tried to remain open and honest. Um, and I think that I did share. I think that the personal sort of information that I did share with the client could have been helpful. Um, I I have to say that I could definitely see um, how this therapy can work, how this therapy can really um, help clients. Um, but I can also see that just the sheer importance of, from the counsellor's perspective, of having a complete understanding of what they're going through, what's going on with them, and making sure that they're on an even keel. I suppose that's the only way that this sort of therapy is going to work. Um, I suppose that can be both a limitation and something positive. That means that the counsellor has to consistently um, work on themselves and make sure that they are at a good place. But I suppose it could also mean that if their counsellors aren't quite in the right place, it can really affect work. So it's, yeah. Um, in my opinion, I think that this sort of therapy, this sort of approach, is an ideal therapy that can be integrated with something else. Um, um, you know, I just think that they could do with perhaps having another layer of complexity almost. Being person centered, it's very much that we're here to ask an open question and then let the client share what they want to share, and sort of follow their own path, and us as the counsellor just go along with them and support them along the way. I suppose from a counselling perspective, there would be wants and urges to perhaps along the way hear something that the client says and perhaps want to delve further into that because you feel that it's necessary to do so. But because this is very client driven, that won't necessarily happen, which has its pros and cons, I suppose. There's a part of me that sort of thinks that it should be integrated with another approach where it allows the counsellor to sort of say, okay, back here you said this, how can we focus on this for a little bit and go this way. But yeah, I think I did okay. I think this was definitely one of the harder therapies to wrap my head around, and definitely one that I will continue to read on and learn about. Okay, thanks.